Right now, the entire NBA world is buzzing with one of the most explosive trade pieces on the market, James Harden, four-time scoring champion, 11-time All-Star, and one on the move again before the Feb 5 trade deadline. Rumors are swirling that the Clippers and Cavaliers are in advanced talks about a blockbuster swap, and while nothing is official yet, the mere possibility that Harden could hit the open market has sent shockwaves through the league. Every contender is now scanning that horizon, and Warriors Nation is watching with sparkling eyes, because when a star like Harden becomes available, every contender's calculus changes. Imagine a scenario where Golden State's front office leans in, turns up the volume, and explores creative packages that reshape the title landscape. Let me say it again, this deadline could be seismic. And whether Harden ends up in Cleveland, Houston, Miami, or some other contender, the ripple effects could reshape the entire Western Conference, including the Warriors' path to a championship.
Serious interest with the sides discussing a Harden for Darius Garland swap. The Clippers played Harden's former team last night in the 76ers. He sat out for what was listed as personal reasons. Here's Clippers coach Ty Lue on Harden's impact on the team.
Is it what has James meant for you guys in LA since he's been here?
He means a lot. Yeah, he means a lot to our team, and we've seen it the last 3 years, so he means a lot.
Is that a guy that you would want to continue having past the trade deadline and be able to build towards a playoff run?
Who wouldn't want to have James Harden?
Okay, who wouldn't want to have James Harden as Kendrick Perkins joins us now here on First Take? And Perk, I'll go to you first. Would it be a mistake to move Harden off the Clippers?
It would, but I don't think they have a choice, Shay. And here's the thing. Shay, I've been on here long enough that I got the authority to say, pop me back up here because I want to look at Stephen A. when I say this. What the hell is going on down there? What the
Uh-oh.
with the Clippers? No, seriously, what's going on with that organization? Do they have some type of disease that we don't know about? Because it seems like everybody is allergic to what's going on in that organization. I go back to how Paul George left. I'm looking at the Chris Paul CP3 situation and how that ended. And now I'm looking at this situation with James Harden. Over the last 2 months, this team has arguably has been the best team in the NBA for us, what they've been doing, winning games. Kawhi Leonard has looked healthy. James Harden is averaging 25 points and third in the league in assists. And all of a sudden, at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, I get an alert that he wants out of Cleveland. I mean, out of LA. Something is going on over there. And I just don't want, LA, excuse me. And I just don't understand what is happening. Now, I will say this. If I'm Cleveland, I'm definitely trying to get James Harden, especially if I'm giving up Darius Garland. Do I believe James Harden is an upgrade? Absolutely, I do. Do I think James Harden has transitioned over the last 3 or 4 years of being one of the best facilitators in the game? You damn right. And here's a fact. Guys, especially big men, thrive and play better, have career years when they play alongside James Harden. So I'm looking at an Evan Mobley in particular, and in Cleveland gets a guy like James Harden, we're going to see his game elevate. Donovan Mitchell's game is going to elevate because now he don't have to be the primary ball handler all the time. It's going to take pressure off of him. So again, it would be a mistake, but I don't think they have a choice at this point. I think they have to trade him.
It would not be a mistake, Big Perk, because when James Harden wants out, you let him leave. Because he's shown you what he's going to be like when he wants to leave and you make him stay. You've seen it, okay? And so you don't want that problem. You don't want that problem. When that brother went out, you get him up out of there, okay? What's going on with the Clippers? What's going on with the Clippers? I mean, I don't have enough time in this show in 2 hours to tell you what's going on with the Clippers. I mean, to me, it comes down to Steve Ballmer, who I love as an owner, but the combination of him and his inexplicable, unwavering faith in Lawrence Frank and Kawhi Leonard. Both are inexplicable. I don't give a damn that Kawhi Leonard is averaging 27 a game. We all know what Kawhi Leonard is going to do when he's on the basketball court. The brother is sensational. It don't matter. When he's on the court, he's going to perform. But he's already missed about 12 or 13 games this year. And you know where I'm going, Perk. You know what? What's he going to do in the playoffs? Call me when the playoffs begin. Let's see if he's on the court. And by the way, we got to take it a game-by-game situation. This brother Shea, I'm telling you right now, Kawhi Leonard should give lessons. He should have a master class on how to get paid for not working. Because I'm telling you, he going to miss it. Trust me, just book it. I don't give a damn if he at the Waldorf Park, he eating dinner at Beverly Wilshire or something. Something going to happen. Food poisoning, twisted ankle, headache. Something going to happen. He ain't going to be there. That's just how it is, okay? To James Harden, and Lawrence Frank, don't get me started with him. What he did with CP3, that just shows you all you need to know. You don't let the man travel on the road with you when you could have kept him at home. You just don't do stuff like that. It just shows a lack of respect, plain and simple. And Ballmer has let this kind of stuff happen for years, okay? He's placed his faith in the wrong people. Now let me get to James Harden. James Harden is one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, just past Shaquille O'Neal for 9th all time. And like Perk said, put me up on the screen so I can look at my little big bro right there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking about James Harden, one of the most prolific scorers in NBA history, an unstoppable force on the offensive side of the ball. We all know what he can do because we've seen him do it. He's averaging more points per game right now than he has since the 2019-2020 season. This is 6 years later, and look at what the brother's doing, okay? The brother's just that special. We all know that. I don't care that he shoots 42% from the field, 35% from three-point range. I don't care. The brother is walking buckets when he needs buckets, when he wants to. Here's the problem. Remember Game 7 last year against the Denver Nuggets, Big Perk? 35 minutes. 7 points on 2 of 8 shooting. That's James Harden. What has James Harden done over the last 4 Game 7s of his career? He's got a combined 1-3 record. And one of the most prolific scorers in NBA history, Shea, averaged 13.8 points on 27% shooting from the field and 17% shooting from three-point range, 5 of 30. That's what we have seen. And he's now lost 4 of his last 5 playoff series. So what I'm saying to you is that because you know when it really, really counts, there has been too much evidence that he's not going to show up for whatever inexplicable reason. Because how do you attempt 8 shots in a game when you James Harden? It's phenomenal and great as he is. How do you attempt 8 shots? That's almost like, well, I'm interested in going to Cabo. I'm interested in getting the hell up out of here. Season's over for me. I don't feel like working. It almost looked like that when you watch him in Game 7s. You cannot keep somebody like that.
Right now, the entire NBA world is buzzing with one of the most explosive trade pieces on the market, James Harden, 4-time scoring champion, 11-time All-Star, one of the greatest offensive creators of this era, and possibly, once again, on the move before the February 5th trade deadline. The air around this rumor isn't just smoke, it's a full-blown wildfire. Multiple insiders are reporting that the Los Angeles Clippers and Cleveland Cavaliers are in advanced talks for a blockbuster swap that could send Harden east in exchange for Darius Garland. While no deal has been finalized, the possibility alone that Harden could become available, or that he could force his way into a better situation, has already sent shockwaves throughout the league. And let me tell you this, Warriors Nation, this isn't just league gossip, this is seismic. This is the kind of domino that can collapse entire playoff forecasts and alter the balance of power in both conferences. Because when a name like James Harden enters the trade winds, even at 34, every single contender, every front office, every analyst has to stop and reassess the board. Now imagine a scenario where Golden State's front office, led by Mike Dunleavy Jr. and a brain trust that has been remarkably patient, doesn't just sit on the sidelines. Imagine them turning up the volume behind closed doors, watching the Harden market develop, seeing who overextends, who panics, and who plays it smart. They don't have to trade for Harden themselves. They just have to be the smartest team in the room. And historically, they've done that better than almost anyone. Whether Harden ends up in Cleveland, Miami, Houston, or another dark horse like New Orleans, the ripple effects of a Harden deal are guaranteed to reach the Bay Area. Because if any Eastern team overpays for him, gives up valuable assets, draft picks, chemistry, and it backfires, that's an advantage for Golden State. If Western teams try to scramble in response and shift their cap flexibility, that's even more leverage. Harden's movement could actually make the road clearer for a Warriors run down the stretch. Let's break it down further. Harden is still averaging around 25 points and 8 assists per game. He may not be 2018 MVP Harden anymore, but he's still a walking double-double with elite basketball IQ and offensive instincts. That's why Shams Charania and multiple insiders have reported the Clippers are actively working on a deal, possibly including Garland, and Harden has leverage due to a special clause in his contract. He can essentially veto any trade he doesn't approve, so where he goes, if he moves, will likely be a destination of his choosing. That brings us to Golden State. Some fans are wondering, should the Warriors try to make a run at him? On paper, you'd have to get extremely creative. The salaries, the fit, the role, the ball dominance, it all raises big questions. But here's the thing. Even if the Warriors don't go after Harden, they could be huge winners in this scenario. Because if Cleveland or Houston gives up young talent and picks, if the Heat move off key rotation pieces, if teams at the top like Denver or Minnesota get spooked and overreact, all of that creates more daylight for the Dubs. And let's not forget the context. Harden has playoff questions. The stats don't lie. In his last 4 Game 7s, he's averaged under 14 points, under 30% from the field. That's not championship material, not when it matters. Meanwhile, Curry, Clay, Draymond, they've been to the mountaintop. They've done it when it counts. And that's why Golden State doesn't need to chase the headlines. They need to make the right move, not the loudest one. The Warriors have already proven that continuity, chemistry, and experience can beat talent alone. They've mastered the art of developing young players and staying in contention. They've maintained financial flexibility. They've trusted Steve Kerr's system. And right now, their biggest strength might be their discipline, their ability to sit back, watch the chaos unfold, and strike when the market is tilted in their favor. So what's the real takeaway here? Harden might be changing uniforms, the East might overpay, the West might scramble, and through it all, Golden State is in prime position to benefit without lifting a finger. This trade deadline isn't about panic, it's about positioning, and the Warriors, they're built for moments like this. Now we want to hear from you, Warriors Nation. Should the front office explore a Harden deal if it somehow made sense? Or should they sit tight, trust the system, and let other teams make the mistakes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you're loving the coverage, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next update, because this trade storm, it's just getting started.